Hey everyone, Jason here, architect working in Toronto, and this is a bit of a summary of my day. Happy Monday to everyone. Today started a little bit slow. I rolled out of bed and got to the office around 8:45 a.m. I had a task. I had to. So over the weekend, we're in the moment where we have to send out holiday cards. We have to send out. Well, we don't have to, but it makes good marketing sense to send out a holiday greeting for the end of the year, and that happens. That planning starts in November. Samin in our office had designed a beautiful holiday card, and a really cool kind of VR thing. And so, we got it printed. We got, over the weekend, I was addressing them all, 445 cards to go out. There's a new system that we're trying out, and it's basically Canada Post doing a printed stamp. So you prepay and then you drop off everything that's addressed so that you're not physically putting stamps down. And so I dropped that off this morning. First thing, I came to the office, picked up all the addressed cards that I had worked on all day yesterday, and 400, almost 450. That's a new record for the office. And these are past clients. These are past potential clients that the project didn't go through. Future, pursuits, clients that we wish we had, and just a reminder, like, hey, we're here, kind of thing. Drop those off, and then when maybe it's a block away, kind of thing. Came back, and a contractor was here. He was picking up wood samples for one of the projects where they have to match the wood finish on the cabinetry for the millworker. So that was good to see. Shook his hand. Got invited to their holiday party, which is very exciting. That was kind of the early kind of 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock kind of zone. Then it became talking to the staff, making sure that they're set up for the week of what work to do. It was pretty brief. I mean, I should be doing a very formal meeting every Monday, but I'm just terrible at keeping track of that. So it was more like I'm walking back to the office, and people would pull me aside and say, "Hey, what do you want me to work on?" Or people are at their desk just working and they're totally fine, kind of thing. I had to prepare for, we had a 12 noon meeting with a new client, a client we just signed on last week. We do this thing called a kickoff meeting, where we sit down and we talk with the clients. We talk about architecture. We talk about things that are like, what's your kitchen like? What kind of aesthetics do you like? How do you cook? How do you spend your weekends? Those kind of things. To talk about lifestyle, to figure out what their house design might be about, might be how it might manifest. But then we talk about things that they might not be thinking about, like, what are your hobbies? What do you guys like to read? Do you like to watch television? And it turns out one spouse loves to read. The other spouse enjoys gaming. They also share music. They like the vinyl record ritual, the playing of music in a main space, and they don't like having a television in their living room. So that's very freeing from an architectural standpoint. We don't need to have furniture pointing at a single object in the room. So that was a really great meeting. We got a footing on what they wanted. Talking about how many bedrooms do you want? What are you looking for in the basement? What are you looking for? Like, how many floors are you thinking about? And that gives us a nice overall picture of them, getting a sense of who these clients are, so that we can design for them. And it's these intro steps that it took us a while to get to this kind of process. And even then, we are developing new processes to get better at what we do. And from this point forward, my team is on it, and they're going to spend a few weeks crafting this first pass. Hopefully we can get it to them. We are planning to get it to them before the holiday break. That way they have something to talk about. They have something to look at. They can even have families say, "Oh, look at this thing that we're thinking about," and then we can do a regroup in the new year. So very good meeting, and it was like a good 2 hours. We sat down for 2 hours. We had some We usually host with some pastries kind of thing, and I mean, it was lunchtime, so I guess they probably were a little bit hungry. But shortly after that meeting, I had a proposal to write for a new potential client. This really kind of house in Toronto. We have these houses that have it's like the original house and then like addition, a renovation. It's like these kind of weird Frankenstein houses in the city. So they had just purchased this house, and they need a proposal for architectural services. We've jumped the gun a little bit, laying some groundwork with this client. So we're going to be measuring the house anyway on Wednesday. But in advance of the proposal, now we're asking for money. So I've crafted a proposal for them, sent it out to them this afternoon. So hopefully it's kind of our project to lose. I hope they sign on and they're happy with the proposal. It's always a sticker shock, so who knows? Hopefully it's in line with their thinking, and if not, we're always flexible to what services can we omit or things like that to get our fees to align with their budget. So then after that, then it was about 3 or 4 o'clock. No, it must have been 4 o'clock by then. And at that point, it's the next 2 hours was working with staff. So on one project, we're preparing for a client meeting tomorrow on this project that it's light fixtures, plumbing fixtures. We have a contractor pricing. We have some permit problems. The city has given me a response that they are 6 to 8 weeks delayed, and it's not in line with the permits that are coming in from the city. So it might be just it could be one rogue civil servant that's totally swamped and just isn't able to keep up. And so hopefully that gets sorted out. Luckily, we don't need the permit this fast, but if we can get the permit, that'd be great. And then on another project, I was working with another staff member on detailing it's a shower system that's exposed copper pipe. So buried within your walls is typically copper water pipe. Copper is a great product because there is new tech that's plastic. It's a proprietary name is PEX, P-E-X. But historically, we've been using copper. Copper as a metal is antimicrobial. So little organisms have a hard time growing on them, and that's why the hulls of ships used to be some kind of copper bronze kind of alloy, because it's hard for bacteria and other growth things to culture on this metal. So little do you know, little may you know, is most of our water piping in our buildings are copper, just because it disinfects as water sits in there. So that's kind of a cool thing to know. But there's also an aesthetic thing with copper. It's a beautiful metal. So we're trying to have this all exposed on the outside, so that your shower fixtures can then be this beautiful copper thing. It's kind of industrial, and it's kind of handmade. So working out those details for this project. And then at the end of the day, around 5:45, I had a 15-minute check-in with one of my staff members. So peppered through each month, I have check-ins with each staff member, and they're about 15 minutes each. Sometimes they're longer, sometimes they're shorter. This one actually ended up being half an hour. So that's time when I spend with my staff to talk about how things are going. Are they tired of the work they're doing? How are they feeling? How are things going on with them? For this particular staff member, they were getting tired of the particular design, the particular tasks that they've been placed on. In this case, it was a lot of design work. Very gifted designer, so a lot of work on that end of things has been designed for this staff member. and they asked, could I work on a little more technical, just straight up drafting? I can shut off my brain a little bit, and kind of have more of a task that's not, I don't want to say less creative, but a little more production heavy. Luckily, we figured out a plan of like, on this project, we are in draft mode, so you might as well be drafting on this, and it's your project anyway. So that all got worked out. And also just discussing about life things. These check-ins are really important to talk about stresses that are outside of work too. Like, maybe it's family, maybe it's friends, maybe you're going through something that I don't know about, and it's important to at least air that or have a venue to air that. Whether someone wants to open up about that or not is up to them. So I had a really great chat, and that kind of was a nice wrap up for the day. I have a few things I want to finish up here in the studio, and then I'm gonna go home. So that was my day. Thanks for tuning in, and catch you next time. Cheers.